right, good evening, everybody. Despite concerns that we might be starting late, we're going to start on time so that Garrett's countdown is not for naught. Hope you guys are doing well out there. We do have a little bit more prep work to do that I'll just bring you guys around with me as I do it. A little bit behind the 8 ball for tonight's stream, just because there's some time-consuming stuff that had to happen in order to make tonight's stream work out. You see, we are officially going to be testing out the new op scheme for GS2 and the Auburn Yard job, which is AY1. We already got through testing of day 1 over the weekend. I was able to kind of get that thoroughly tested. But tonight we are going to be working on just kind of QCing day 2 of the session to make sure all of that works out well. For those of you that don't know, my op scheme is a 2-day operation. So all my crews usually just switch to a different job on day 2 and get to see a different part of the layout. Sessions themselves take about 3 hours. You're on each job for about an hour and a half. So it's a pretty good pace. I like the way things work out usually. But yeah, you can see this is actually the return train right here to your right hand side, and then on the left hand side is our outbound train. So as we're working on getting everything ready to rock, let me just get you guys pulled up because I don't even have the chat pulled up on my phone right now. So I'll get that going here, and I'll say hi to everybody. And then we should be pretty much good to start operating now, I think. So, all right. All right, so we're gonna use the same power we used last time, which is this set down here. So I just gotta pull it off of yesterday's train and then spin it around. You can see Auburn Yard's a little emptier than it normally is, that's for sure. That's just because on Wednesday of this week, the first backdrops are going up over here. So this is the only part of the layout that I have not bothered to completely repopulate yet, which is pretty exciting. So, yeah, it's just kind of bare bones over here for the time being while we, test things out for the new additions to the layout, but also wait for the backdrops to be installed. Once those backdrops are installed on Wednesday, I'll probably spend a good amount of time on Thursday getting everything fully reset on the layout and fully repopulated, which will be quite exciting, that's for sure. All right, got to throw one more locomotive here in the consist. Boo's over here to say hi to us all. Okay. Trailing logo is actually at this point. Okay. Good. All right, so let's get these fired up. Okay, so let me say hi to everybody while we're getting the locomotives turned around and onto the right side of the train here. Oops, nope, I do need reverse. I just recoupled. My skewer out here. All right, here we go. Sure, I'm actually lined, I suppose. Oh boy, I hope, the other thing I did not think to do is clean track. So hopefully I got it clean enough on Saturday that we're okay for this. All right, so it looks like Garrett was out there first. Good evening to you, sir. Brandon out there right after him. Mitch is here, Dennis is here, Rick's here, Scott's here. Other Scott is here. We're gonna have to go Scott 1 and Scott 2 on that situation. I think Scott Winchester has been watching a little bit longer, so I don't know. I think we'll have to go Winchester Scott as number 1 and the other FBR Scott as number 2, I suppose. All right, getting run around here. Looks like we also got JP out there. Welcome in. Rob, welcome in. Tom, welcome in. JD, welcome in. Oh, good. You guys could see Abu. I wasn't sure if you could or not. All right. Jeffrey, welcome in. Oh, good. You guys, I'm glad you could see Abu, because that's, okay, what are we doing here? There we go. Hello? There we go. Yeah, we got some dirty track. We might end up cleaning some track tonight too, I think. Oh boy. Let's just do that right now before we get any further into tonight's endeavors. The east side of the yard should be relatively clean. I did clean that, and then I cleaned all the way down to Solvay, but the main line still could use a scrub, that's for sure. Tom, I listened to the podcast this morning, the Crossing Gate this morning, and it's funny. Maybe I should spark one of the debates from the intro. I used the Woodland Cedix Tidy track cleaner with isopropyl alcohol as my cleaning agent. But you know, feel free to spam the comments with what's right or wrong, I suppose, in the chat, or how you clean your track. All right, let me scrub the stuff we had issues with here too before I forget about it. Layout hasn't really been consistently, well, hasn't been really run at all for the last 4 months, so it's expected that it needed a good cleaning, that's for sure. Okay, hopefully we're relatively good here. Let me just try to scrub down the east yard ladder here as well. JD, I think I saw your question about backdrops. I do make my own backdrops. I have a friend that's got a vinyl print shop, and he's printing them all for me. But it's all my photos taken from drone, and then I stitch them together myself in Photoshop, and just have them printed. He's my friend with the print shop also installs vinyl decals a lot, so he's actually going to help me install them as well, which will be super useful. Looking forward to having his help, because I'm sure it'll go on much cleaner with him helping me than I could ever imagine them going on by myself. All right, let's see if we got some better. I better just move it off this dirty stretch of track, I think. Hopefully we're good there. No, we're still flickering. We might have some dirty locomotive wheels. Perhaps, perchance. It is entirely possible. Bummer is that these scale trains units have keep lives in them too. They just never seem to work properly. So actually, JD, there is a tutorial out on my channel about how I do my backdrops. And it's a much more commercially available method because it's using Walgreens for printing. Oh, that switch is not lined properly. Pay no attention to the hand of God. For those of you who have not been here for an operating stream, I can't multitask, so just know that you're in for a treat as far as me being able to focus on two things at once. Hey Ted, welcome in. Happy to see you. All right, we seem to be having much more reliable track cleaning now, or clean track now. That's nice. So the other thing I'm kind of testing out as we go here is how usable proto throttle programmed locomotives are on Engine Driver. So far, I've got the hang of it. It's something that I'm, a little bit concerned about for my operators, expecting them to get the hang of it. So I really want to make sure that I understand what I'm asking of them before I, make this a permanent change. I'm grateful that Jeffrey out there was able to program everything that I've got into a proto throttle friendly speed matching curve and function map, but I do still want to make sure that it's usable from various different throttles prior to permanently adopting it. So far, Jeffrey, the braking works mostly good, other than the weird issue where some locomotives want to move even when the brake's applied, which I'm not sure why that would be. Oh, actually, we're not starting over here anyway. So we've got that train ready to go, but the ops really have to start over here in Auburn. Just the way the pacing is kind of set up for the ops scheme. There's a couple things that need to be ready when GS2 gets here. You can see this is my switch list here. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. Maybe those of you that are on a TV will be able to see this or go back and watch the replay and zoom in on it. But this is the Auburn Yard switch list. It's got some funky thing going on. There's supposed to be a whole bunch more text up here that describes what exactly you're doing, but it's not there for some reason. But basically the biggest priority for the Auburn Yard job is to have all of the eastbound cars ready for GS2 when it gets here, and then vice versa when it's westbound. So as far as on day 2, it's a lot simpler than day 1 actually. There's only 2 cars that we have to get ready to go for GS2 before it gets here, and then the rest of it is kind of happening after they're out of here on the eastbound kick. So basically all we're doing is pulling the 2 fertilizer cars here, these 2 blue KSPX cars, off of the team track and getting them ready for GS2 when it gets here. So I do have 2304 on the proto throttle itself, and we'll go ahead and get those 2 cars off the team track and ready. Oops. All right. So a little bit of proto throttle operation here tonight as well. Yeah, I've got a Walther's track car and a Bachmann one. Both were very useful when I had a continuous run mainline, but I don't have a continuous run mainline anymore, so I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do about that long term. I'll try to keep you guys close to the action tonight. Hopefully the gimbal does a good job of not making you guys get motion sick. All right, going in on the team track, which is our front track here. We've also got a scrap gun that's just kind of a, it's kind of just a bit of yard fodder. And oops, I did not line that correctly. I could have sworn I did. But again, I warned you, sometimes multitasking's a bit too much for me. So far, the yard itself here in Auburn is performing relatively reliably. I am noticing that the trackage just outside the yard has a couple of issues that we may end up troubleshooting tonight. We'll see how many issues we end up having. I think I just need to check gauge coming in and out of turnouts. Too far. I need to get a bumper on this track ASAP. Okay. Actually, for the time being, I'll just throw a thumbtack on it. I think I got one around here. This is going to be another one of those streams where it might be a little hard for me to keep up with chat, so I apologize if people are asking questions and I miss them. I do usually go back and rewatch streams just to see if I missed anything in chat later. So if you're somebody that I can direct message, I'll try to follow up with you that way. The real trick of all of this is going to be getting a second operator in here. Whoops, that track was not lined for me. So that I can really actually test out the pacing of all of this. Right now, I'm obviously doing everything myself, so I don't know how much I can really expect to gain from it other than making sure that the paperwork's correct and that my track work is running reliably. I'm not really gonna understand the timing and the pacing of everything until I've got a second operator in here, which I've got a shakedown session scheduled. I still need to send out a couple of invites, but there's still a little bit to do in that regard for sure. All right, so we'll throw those right there. And then whoops. All right. Oh, interesting. Really? That could be a problem. Well, all right. Noted. Going to need to address that. Hey Ray, welcome out. Welcome in. Need some HO scale chocks, yeah. That's yeah, well, that's bittersweet for you, Ray, that you tore out half the layout. But it's funny you should say that. I was talking in my Discord today about, there's a couple of different operational changes that have already occurred in my op scheme. So I've got a couple of sidings on the Canandaigua Peninsula that are, one needs to be relocated, and then the other is getting completely removed for a more rail-fannable prototype location. So, let's see. Well, I suppose we should have just stashed this locomotive somewhere else for now. We really just need it out of the way, and then we'll get GS2 on the way. Second half is going soon. Now, I think I just need to get a level on the layout. I have a leg that's not quite on the ground. That might just need to be adjusted so that doesn't occur. A little bit of humidity change and a little bit of, you know, a little bit of everything. So we'll keep an eye on it. These are incredibly free-rolling cars. They, let's see, they still want to. Yep. These are probably two of the most free-rolling cars I've got, honestly. See if anything else will even do it. Yeah, see, that car's fine. What if I give it a nudge? Yeah. It's just because these are so ridiculously free-rolling. Interesting stuff, to say the least, but definitely something to be addressed. We don't need, you know, we don't need operators pulling their hair out dealing with that. Yeah, new beginnings, for sure. Oh, hey, we're still rolling. Watch it, you two. All right, let's get GS2 on the way here. There we go. So GS2's got 4 cars on the rear here to drop in Auburn, and then it's got the 2 pickups. This is, I've told the story in various different formats before, but this lash up right here, the 2 CEFX units and the 2308 in this paint scheme, I saw in a couple, like, well, it was one train, but multiple people have video of the train on YouTube. And I just watched this lash up on YouTube so many times that it was part of what convinced me to model the Finger Lakes. It's just a cool, colorful lash up, and, you know, a really cool era of Finger Lakes where they had all of that happening. We'll set you guys down in the causeway. A little bit of work still left to do over here. We've got to get a little scabbed in piece for the backdrop in over here, which is going to be a pain in the neck. Just because we obviously dropped down 2 inches here. And so it's not quite conducive to the traditional backdrops. So I'm going to have to get a little bit creative, but that's okay. What is going on here? Yeah, Ray, I can definitely, a shim can definitely be put in there for sure. That might, yeah, that'll be the easiest way to fix it, without a doubt. This track's not even glued down yet. It's just, you know, set in place with nails. So that'll be a pretty simple fix. Oops, sorry. The run between Auburn and Geneva is still, unfortunately, short. You know, there's only so many downfalls I can fix on the layout with a massive expansion. But putting a little bit more mainline run into GS2 beyond Auburn at least makes the job feel a little bit more like it's going places. Yeah, I think these locomotives need a wheel clean. I'll have to do that when I'm not in the middle of a live stream. Dennis, I'm still supervising a little bit here, my friend. I'm slightly concerned as to where we're going. All right, so GS2 does not do much switching. It's a hot shot train. So they're literally gonna just drop cars on the main, grab the two outbounds off of the yard track, and then they'll be on their way. Simple as that. Pull out of the way here. Okay. That's my AY1 switch list. Get the GS2 one. This is the thing that I have the most trouble with, is because by the time I get switch lists onto a sheet, I've already got it in my head so much that I don't actually verify that everything I have on the sheet is correct. So let me just make sure that I'm looking through all this and making sure that we're good to go. Okay, so we've got two NNWs and an NS for two bay covered hoppers being dropped. And then we've got AEX 12924 being dropped as well for Auburn metal processing. Unfortunately, the one thing, oh, I didn't turn the switch back again. Seems like we've picked it okay. What was I saying? Nice. Actually, we got to pull up further. I've totally lost my train of thought. Oh boy. All right, we'll cut those four cars right here on the main. Oh, that's what I was talking about. I think. Yeah, I think I just need to check that this bench work is properly level. Shims are only going to do so much, right? All right, there's that. So yeah, when I'm operating by myself here, I know where everything goes in my head. So I just need to be careful to actually verify that the sheets are correct here, because half the time I'll do a little bit of testing like this and I won't find a typo until the first time I'm running something through an op session, because I figured everything was on the sheet the way I had it in my head. So just trying to be careful of that tonight. So let's see. So we're in Auburn Yard. There's our drops down. You can see my printer had a little bit of an issue, but these first 4 are our drops that just went down. And then we've got the 2 pickups here, both of which are on there. So we should be good. Make sure my switches are aligned. Sam, welcome in. Happy to see you. Yes, Rob, inside me are 2 wolves. The train is a little bit short for these logos, but you know, I am limited by the capacity on the layout. The length of the train can also pretty seriously change depending on if it's day 1, day 2, and where on the layout we are. Like the return trip will actually be, I think, pretty heavy because we've got 4 outbounds that will, you know, be coming from Auburn, plus a pretty lengthy train down in Solvay still. So, yeah, GS2 is all set here in Auburn, and it's on its way down to Solvay now. Should have cleared off the layout a little bit better here. I left tools out. I had it all clean. I cleaned the whole layout this past weekend, and then I had to get more tools out again. Make some modifications. Pretty excited Wednesday as well. I think Garrett's coming over, and he's going to finish up a pretty cool project he's been working on for me, which I certainly appreciate. I'll show you guys the project. So this is my lift bridge here, obviously. Interesting. And one of the things I was really concerned about with the lift bridge opening this direction was when I was coming back up the grade, I didn't want cars to be able to, you know, come shooting down, roll back all the way down the grade and then shoot down, you know, plummet to the floor right here. So I had Garrett help me with a little bit of Arco magic here. He designed this rollback protection for me. It's a sideways mounted tortoise that just throws the pin up in between the gauge of the tracks. And it's just based on a nice simple little switch over here that's supposed to catch on this side of the lift bridge. But I actually had to adjust the lift bridge itself a little bit. So when Garrett comes over to help me finish that project, he's going to have to move that back just because I'm a little scared to touch it. Yeah, Dennis, lift bridge with technology in it, so don't break it when you smack your head ducking underneath it. But yeah, I'm immensely grateful for Garrett's help on that particular project because it's going to be a lifesaver. Here's going to be the future home of the Martisco Station scene. Lighting wise, I got a lot done this past weekend, but I still need to extend this track of lights over to this side so that this doesn't look so dark and scary. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Wait for it to pop out here on the bottom side of the loop. Not many people can say they've attempted to ollie a B-23. You know what, Dennis? You're absolutely right, my friend. I don't know how many people would prefer to try that, though. Quite frankly, I would have preferred you didn't try that. Oh, man. Yeah, definitely got some dirty wheels going on here. Willow Creek Brad, welcome in. Happy to see you. Okay, so we have, where are we putting them? Drop you guys down here so you can just see into the staging area. We're gonna come in on the front 2 tracks, and then our pickups are on the front track here today. Should be lined good. Clean my nasty track. All right, Rob. Sorry, man. It's been months. Oh, that is not the right track we're coming in on. Whoops. No, stop. Please stop. There we go. Don't know how I managed that one. Whoops. Thought I checked over every turnout, but turns out I did not. One thing I might need to do here pretty quickly is drop a couple more nails down in Solvay here. I'm noticing that every time I go to move stuff down here, I end up knocking tracks out from being straight, which is really annoying. So we might need to fix that a little bit. I went relatively minimal with the track nails initially, but you might be able to see like this track right here is like way too wonky. All right, now I've got it lined on the right track. Check my switches. Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, I mean, it's a realistic speed restriction over the lift bridge, Chris, but it's also, you know, the entrance into Solvay Yard, so definitely not going to be going highball speeds through there anyway. Yeah, this is definitely mostly dirty locomotive wheels, because this track I just scrubbed on Saturday. We're still getting all sorts of issues. Depending on how quickly we get done with everything tonight, which I'm not sure how quickly that'll be, I might show you guys a couple of things that I'm thinking about as far as that relocation is concerned. I don't know that I'm, quite frankly, even prepared to get to that prior to the ops weekend, but we'll see. I ticked a lot of stuff off the to-do list this past weekend, which I was pretty excited about. One of the big things I need to do, though, is actually get fascia on over here. I've got fascia on in a lot of different areas of the layout, but this is one area where it lacks. I guess as of tonight, I've got another thing to add to that to-do list, though, which is figure out that unlevel track issue in Auburn. Well, something fun for tonight. I've just discovered that the runaround track is actually short enough that we can use it for the Day 2 consist coming into Solvay, which is kind of cool. I do have a couple of different options for how to get out of the stub end yard here. The first is a runaround, but it's only about 6 cars long. Thankfully, we're at 5 cars tonight, so that means that we can actually use the runaround. The plan was that if you wanted to, you could still just cut your train in half and then use the runaround. Yeah, the other option would be if you don't feel like doing that, there is a yard unit stationed in Solvay that you can just latch onto and use that in order to rescue yourself from the stub end. All right, now throw 2308 in the lead, and we'll get going out of the siding here. Once we've got our train yarded here in Solvay, we'll circle back to the work that needs to get done in Auburn, which in theory during an op session would be going on simultaneously. Oh, we just went way out of focus. That was weird. Yep, all my locomotives are capped at 18 scale miles an hour per the Seaboard Central standard. Yeah, I think a few track nails are definitely in order. I can't stand the fact that you can look down the yard and see how wavy it is. Sorry, you can see I've still got a couple cars that are supposed to end up in Geneva out and about here while we're waiting to finish up that backdrop project. Little messes here and there. So we'll pull clear out of the runaround track and get this yarded. I'm pulling high. I'm gonna find my to-do list though and add those couple things before I forget about them. All right. Officially pulled high. And we're gonna throw these in on the very back track. Uh-oh. Why'd we pop off there? That's interesting. Did I throw something the wrong way? I did. Okay, that's a me issue, thankfully. Not a track issue. Although I suppose he who laid the track does create the issues, right? Nice, Dennis. Check your switch. Yeah, thanks, Jeffrey. Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah. Darren, welcome in, by the way. Yeah, worried about my wavy track. So one thing that I do want to do here as I'm shoving these back is actually delay uncouple, because obviously this back track is, you know, not ideal. So there's that. There's that. Oh, of course, that was slightly out of frame for you. All right. Anywhere there should be good. Well out of the way. You can see that backtrack is actually the day one outbounds. Ultimately, the goal will be 4-yard tracks and, you know, a pretty good cycle of cars coming in and out, so that we can really get operations feeling like it's different stuff every time. How is that coupled? I delayed on. Oh, it was like, huh? Free rolling cars, man. It was the two knuckles were still side by side and caught on each other. Yeah, good spot for an electromagnet if you believe in them. All right, so we'll tie this onto the outbound cut, and then we'll circle back over to Auburn and get that stuff done. Yeah, that's a good idea, Jeffrey, for sure. I should put that on the paperwork. Put that on the to-do list. I suppose while I'm writing, I could actually move the train. Switches should be good this time, hopefully. Yep. There we go. Added to the to-do list. There's the to-do list for anybody that cares. Well, can't quite get it in the full frame. Lots of stuff going on there. A couple of things already ticked off, some big ones like the fascia and the some of the lighting. Some of the lighting will happen this upcoming weekend. Finished day 2 of the op scheme. We can almost cross that off here. And it's just a bunch of other small stuff, you know, nothing major. All right, just verify I got a good hitch there. And of course I didn't. The idea is going to be kind of to hopefully make sure that the outbounds are on the two front tracks and that you're putting your inbounds, excuse me, are the two front tracks and the two back tracks are going to kind of be outbounds. So when I restage at night or between sessions, I'll have to, do a little bit of shuffling, but that's not too big a deal. All right, so we're tied on here, and in theory, GS2 is ready to head back west, but that just means for us that we've got a little bit more work to do in Auburn before we're ready for that. Like I said, it's going to be interesting having a second operator here to kind of help me with all this. Actually, before we go anywhere, let me just make sure that we've got the right cars here. I've been trying to, be good about that. Okay, we have CSX 39, yep, NS 46. T-Box 14, GACX 31748, 8373. Okay, perfect. Everything's right on the paperwork up to this point. Can't read it, you'll take my word for it? All right, good. All right, so what do we have to do as far as work over here in Auburn? Well, a couple of things. We've got two different industries to switch. We need to do Nucor and also OI. I think our OI cars are the most accessible right now, so we'll go ahead and do that first, just for efficiency's sake. Those are the ones that GS2 just dropped right on the main line here. So we'll go ahead and put away the AEX car, and then we'll head on over to OI, which is just behind the camera right now. And I didn't check switches again. Whoops. Okay, we're good there at least. Having a weird issue with 2304 that I need to get addressed as well. Oh, that needs to go on the to-do list, actually. I'm having a weird issue where, for some reason, even when the brake's applied, it's still moving. So I've got to figure out what setting's wrong. It's allowing that to still happen. Same thing's happening with 2308 as well. All right, so we'll go ahead and get the scrap gone, probably tied on with this other one. Again, we're just modeling the scrap traffic for Auburn metal processing in and out of the yard at this point, the same way we used to with the Owens, Illinois traffic, just because there's not really a natural place now for Auburn metal processing, the same way there wasn't for OI previously. So all right, so what I'm actually going to do is grab this one. This front track is supposed to be the team track, so I need to pull this one off because I just had it set aside because we're about to get cars for the team track from GS2 when it gets back. So we want to make sure that that track's clear. I was just setting that there to get out of the way. Okay, got a good hitch on that. Listen, Garrett, I'm walking so that you can fly, sir, as far as modeling the Ontario Central. I'm giving you all the resources to do it, man. Quite literally. All right, so we'll stuff these in behind the two new Gorgons that are sitting here waiting to go in, just because that leaves an empty yard track, which could come in handy later when we're prepping for GS2 to come back. I have a feeling that's what's going to end up happening a little bit with this job, and it's really not the worst thing in the world, because there's so much that can be done so quickly with GS2 that I'm worried they might get back into Geneva too quickly. But I'm hoping it's not excessive. But what I'm trying to say is there's a little bit of concern that GS2 is going to end up waiting on the Auburn Yard job a little bit. But my understanding is that that's not completely out of the realm of being prototypical. They try their best to make sure that the Auburn Yard job isn't waiting on, or GS2 isn't waiting on the Auburn Yard job, but it's not to say that it doesn't happen. All right, so we've got those cut away, and we should be good to head out to OI to do our work out there. The one thing I can do, which I think is not, again, out of the realm of prototypicality, if I find that GS2 is waiting on the Auburn Yard job too much, I can also just have GS2 switch OI. I believe that's something that does happen on the prototype from time to time, depending on, you know, what the capacity of both jobs is on a given day. You didn't ask for this, Burden? All right, Jeffrey thinks he has the fix for both the problem units. That's good. So the two issues, or the two places I'm having these very strange issues with derailing is actually right off the points of this turnout over here, and then the one that's just to the left out of frame right now. Let's see. This one right here, I keep having issues with my 6 axles jumping right there. So I'm gonna have to check the gauge on that. You know, it's not ideal to have a curve going straight into a turnout like that, but it's a number 8 on in both cases, so it's not like there's a whole lot going on there, or a whole lot of sharp curves and stuff of that like. All right, so we've got 3 outbounds over here at OI. Let me just look at the paperwork and make sure that that looks good. We've got CRDX, MCEX, and ICE. Those are my outbounds. And I've got them marked as pull for westbound on GS2, perfect. And NS, NW, NW as my spots, marked as inbounds on GS2, perfect. All right, so, oops. Actually want to throw these in on this track for now. I've got a couple more cars to acquire for OI before I can really start to operate this prototypically. But for now, I'm just going to use this as a track to throw my inbounds in while I swap over to my outbounds. And then I'll put the inbounds in on that track ultimately the way this is going to work is one of these tracks, or each of these tracks, is going to be for a different material. One material comes in these 2-bay Trinities and various different ACF 2-bays, and then the other one comes in 3 bays. So we'll have to kind of get that worked out. We got to purchase the right 3 bays for it. I don't have quite as much capacity as there is in the real OI, unfortunately. So it could look a little bit different by the time everything is said and done. Just in terms of capacity, it might not be 3 cars in and out for the 2 bays. It could be just like 2 and 1 3-bay or something like that. Yep. Wow, that doesn't like how dirty the track is here. Oh, we even got our sound off. Wow. There we go. Now let's turn it back on. Didn't realize this track was so dirty. Definitely the whole layout is going to get a nice good scrub though, prior to the op session, or the, all of the op sessions. All right, so we'll take our inbounds and put them on the proper track now. Keep dead. Oh, jeez. Yep, glass is what they make at OI. Hear it. Wow, looks like we've got quite a few out there tonight. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Happy to have you all. Might be a good reminder, if there's anybody new out there tonight, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and that'll allow you to chat with us. Be happy to have you along for the ride long term if you're new. Have a lot of fun here on Monday nights, as you can see. We haven't been doing a lot of operating recently, but that should change now that we're through some pretty big projects on the layout, and we're finally able to repopulate it. Yep, feel free to join the Discord as well that Garrett just linked. We have lots of fun over there. That's actually usually the place I keep the most up to date as far as what's going on the layout, that's for sure. All right, there we go. That's our work at OI. Time to head back to Canada, or to Auburn, excuse me. See if I have the issue of these 3 cars coming up the grade. Those screws out of the way, and you guys can actually see the grade here. I really like that the backdrop gets really narrow here, and I'm going to have a treed hillside that's really going to help divide the Martisco scene from Owens, Illinois, which should be really nice. You got to pull into headroom into the trees, but you should never be connecting or disconnecting cars there because there's a grade. So shouldn't be a concern as far as that's concerned. Uh-oh, your headphones are missing, Dennis. I don't have anything to do with that. I promise. Or do I? Maybe my fingers are crossed. All right, so we're gonna put these in on the first yard track here. That'll be the most accessible one when GS2 gets back. And then we'll run around the yard and drill out what we need to in new core. Ooh, Darren's actually cutting parts for modules. That's exciting. I've got parts cut for a module myself, but I don't know when I'm going to have time to actually work on it. My original hope was to bring it down to Sydney and work on it there, but that didn't end up happening. All right, those ones seem to want to stay a little bit easier, but still not ideal. So we're going to have to definitely get this this figured out over here. All right, let's switch you guys around to the westbound view of the yard here. So you can see what's going on here. All right, so let me make sure that everything is looking right here. That was a weird sound. We are still trying to troubleshoot here as we go, so let me just make sure. What am I jumping on here? Let's see. Something doesn't seem happy. Starting to wonder. No. Well, we'll have to play around with that a little bit. A little bit of work to do, flush out some issues, but design it, build it, burn it, yeah. I must have missed said covered hopper comment. I don't know, should I be concerned here? Yeah, the new modular AP is really exciting. It's, I just wish, you know, the national convention was prioritizing modular as much as, you know, the AP people seem to be. It's a little disappointing. The fact that we didn't have Fremo this past year, and it doesn't seem to be as big of a priority moving forward. But I digress. Hey, Happy Valley, welcome in. Happy to see you. Hope you're doing well. I don't think I've seen you since that Amherst meetup. Under your bed. Yep, that's where we hit him, Dennis. Totally. All right, where'd I put my skewer? It's funny, I was always a dental floss pick guy, but I bought skewers just to accommodate, you know, a variety of choices for anybody that came and operated the layout. Oops. And now I find myself using the skewers even more. What's everybody else's favorite uncoupling tool? That's a whole nother, if Thomas is still out there, a whole nother hot topic as far as modelers are concerned. If there is one thing I've learned about model railroaders is that there are strong opinions about everything, that's for sure. All right, so, whoops. Forgot to throw the reverser. Okay, so we've got, or we should have one outbound here in Auburn, as long as I've got everything written down correctly. New core, yep, we got one pole, and that is 130, GNBC 130, yep. The rest are holds, and then we've got two spots. It's a little unbalanced what's coming in and out of Nucor right now, unfortunately, just because I need to build a few more prototype loads. I have a distinct lack of loads at the moment, so I need to get that addressed sooner rather than later, so that I can kind of rebalance the fact that I end the session with 4 empty gondolas in there that need loads. Although I suppose it does occur to me that at the end of the session with the 4 empty cars in Nucor, I can then go take the loads out of the cars that have reached their destination and have then become empties. So yeah. Yeah, the floss sticks of the Dentex things, they can be a little inconsistent. I do like that they get in between the couplers a little easier than a skewer, but what the skewer lacks in that ability is made up for by the fact that it actually does a better job physically uncoupling the freight cars. Hey Mitch, welcome in. Yeah, like I said, I've got a mix of both here at the layout for anybody who might want something different. All right, so let's throw this outbound load on with the outbound 2 bays, and then we'll be good to go. We'll be good to throw the empties back in the Nucor siding, and GS2 will get underway. Technically, while I'm doing this, I could have GS2 running up the grade. So we'll get that running here. Used to have the uncoupling sticks, yeah, gotcha. All right. Get these back on scrap siding and get the Auburn yard job out of the way. GS2 is officially on its way back up the loop. Crossing over right there. The other thing I really like about the way Auburn's set up now is that the only time you really need to compete with Geneva for headroom, even though the distance is so short, is when you're working new core. So it's one move and then you're done the rest of the time. You don't need headroom. You can drill anything you need to in the yard from the east side. The team track is accessed from the east side. OI is accessed from the east side. So it's literally just new core is the only time you have to compete for headroom. That was a concern of mine for a long time prior to this, was how often my operators on the Auburn, in Auburn Yard and in Geneva were not paying attention to how close they were getting to each other. There was almost cornfield meets, but in the middle of a lake. So lake meets, I don't know, quite often. Oh, interesting. Sharpen the skewers in a pencil sharpener. Yeah, the ones I got actually came with quite a, I mean, it's a pretty sufficient point to begin with, which I'm pretty happy with. So, all right, let's see if I'm going to have enough clearance. I might find myself adding a little bit more track to new core. On the prototype, this is where they store, like right at the end of the new core siding is where they store the Auburn Yard engine when it's not in use. But my clearance is so tight right here that I don't, when this is a full siding right now, I don't have room to store it here. So I've got to get it back into the yard and out of the way. All right, meanwhile, GS2 is just making it to the top of the hill, so we'll coordinate here. We'll do our little song and dance as if it's the real thing. Yeah. Slowed GS2 down. Make sure I got my mainline switches lined properly. Although I suppose it does occur to me that I do also have to do a little bit of finagling to get the cars onto GS2 as well from the west end of the yard, but hopefully that's not too big of a deal. All right. Still going, Rob. Like I said, these jobs are designed to be about an hour and a half each. So, you know, we're actually kind of ahead of schedule. All right, so here's GS2 coming back in. One of the places that the 6-axes in particular have issues is right there, so I'm going to kind of be on the lookout for that. Really, at this point, I know there's an issue there, and I just need to fix it. I think I've just got a little bit of a kink. I think I need to loosen up the rail and just relay it in slightly wider right there, and I should be fine. I can also use a bit of a re-railer there if necessary. And then unfortunately, I've got an issue on the other side as well, which I'm not quite as sure what the issue is. But just got to get a track gauge on it all and see if I can get it figured out. All right, so GS2. We've got 2 drops here in Auburn Yard, the 2 cars on the tail end of the train. So it's a nice quick drop and run. We'll drop those right on the main, just like we did on the way eastbound. And then we'll have 2304 come and clear those, get them into the team track because they're fertilizer cars for the team track in Auburn. And that's basically the end of the session. Got 10 minutes to get it all wrapped up before Dennis is ready to go. Yeah, you might be able to see the kink here a little bit. I think I can too. It's a little disappointing because I tried to solder the connection to avoid that happening. I soldered it straight and then, you know, put the curve in, and it doesn't seem to have helped very much. Yep. Did it again, Jeffrey. You didn't warn me to check my switches. Slacker. Oh, I've got to move you guys. You can't see what's going on over here. All right, so we're at the west end of town here. Stop here, cut the 2 cars that are staying here in Auburn, and then we'll get our westbound outbounds out of the yard here off of yard track 1. Thanks, Jeffrey, for the reminder. Appreciate it. All right, so checking my paperwork here. All the yard, we got to get all the way to the next page here on GS2. Make sure that's lined properly. Oh, that did not print well. Great. I don't know. I got an issue to fix with my printer too, I think. You're buying train tickets? I'm doing well, AT7. Hope you are too. Welcome in. Wrapping up some ops here. Oh, thanks for the invite. Garrett and Jeffrey. All right, we've got our entire train together here, and it's time to head back to Geneva for GS2. We'll rail fan it the way back here. See it over the causeway. And as soon as it's clear, I'll get the Auburn Yard job moving again. Again, just one of my favorite lash-ups that ever graced Finger Lakes Railway rails. That trio there. And come in on AD here, which is the traditional, of course, arrival track. All right. Dennis, how are you looking for your stream, my friend? Are you going to be ready to go right at 9? Oh. Well, I can stall a couple minutes here, I think, Dennis, if you need me to. Just because I don't know if I'm quite going to be done with the ops right at 9. Hey, Joey, welcome in. Happy to see you. That's an Atlas bridge, Ed. All right. We'll say goodbye to GS2 here. I'll keep my eye on it, though. But I'm going to bring you guys back over to Auburn as we wrap up the Auburn yard job and put those 2 fertilizer cars in on the team track. All right, GS2 is officially tied down. We just got the one move left to make over here in Auburn. Yep, definitely grateful to have the space I do. That's for sure, AT7. I definitely stumbled into a basement that might be too big for my own good. Sometimes those that know me might wish I had a little bit more of a space constraint for the amount of time that I end up expanding when I say I'm done expanding. But ultimately, they're all for the betterment of the op scheme, so did not get a good hitch there. All right, so we'll get this all wrapped up. There's still room to do more. Oh, Joey, don't say that. Don't say that, Joey. Honestly, any other expansion that I was to do now would get a little bit more complicated than I think I'm mentally prepared for. So I think it's really well and truly done being expanded upon now. Realistically, the only trackage that Finger Lakes has that I don't have right now is the old Lehigh Valley line down to the Seneca Army Depot, and I very much have no space for that because that would be, in theory, pretty much right in the middle of the walkway geographically, so that's not happening. And then the other portion is the run south out of Himrod to Watkins Glen. And there's maybe a way to do that, but it would be very, very complicated. You can see as we back these cars up into their place on the team track. I'll pan over here. This is technically, so that's Himrod, and the line coming out this end would be the line that goes down to Watkins Glen. And you can see, well, the way things stand right now, there's nowhere to put Watkins Glen. So anything I did there would be very, very complicated and really not fit the footprint of the basement very well. Victor, yeah, that too, for sure, Garrett. But again, that's another long run that you don't get a lot of ops potential for, and scenically, it's not very exciting as much as I love the Lehigh Valley. All right, so we've got these last 2 cars on the team track, and we are pretty much good to go here. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's ops session as we tested things out. I've got a couple more things to do on the to-do list that I've discovered, but overall, really, really, really happy with how everything works out. That's for sure. It seems like the op scheme is pretty much ready to rock. I don't have any notes as far as typos are concerned right now, although I'm sure I missed something, and as soon as I have my first shakedown session, I'm sure my operators will gladly point those out to me, and I can get them fixed before the big one is here. So, all right, guys. Well, Dennis put his link down in the chat. Be sure to head on over to his stream, because we are pretty much done here. Like I said earlier, if you're new to the channel and here for the very first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button before you leave so you don't miss any more of our Talkin' Trains live streams in the future. I don't think I'm gonna go next Monday, but I'm not sure. I'll keep everybody posted, and I'll see you over on Dennis's stream. Take care, everybody.